The Black Sarcophagus of Alexandria. What was really inside? Deep in the heart of Alexandria, a city founded by Alexander the Great himself, an ancient mystery remained buried for centuries. In 2018, construction workers, going about their daily routine in the Sidi Gabor district, stumbled upon something that would capture the world's attention. A colossal black sarcophagus, sealed shut for over 2,000 years. This wasn't just any tomb. Unlike the ornate, gilded sarcophagi of the pharaohs, this one was stark, imposing, and utterly devoid of markings. Its sheer size was staggering, 9 feet long, over 5 feet wide, and more than 6 feet tall, weighing an estimated 30 tons. Carved from a single block of black granite, it was the largest sealed sarcophagus ever discovered in Alexandria, a silent, black monolith that had remained untouched since antiquity. The discovery ignited a firestorm of speculation. Could this be the long-lost tomb of Alexander the Great, a final resting place that has eluded historians for millennia? Or perhaps it held the remains of a powerful, unknown noble or a high-ranking military commander from the Ptolemaic period. The possibilities were endless, and the world watched with bated breath. But, as archaeologists prepared to unveil its secrets, a darker, more ancient fear began to surface. Whispers of a curse, an ancient malevolence that would be unleashed upon the world, spread like wildfire. Locals warned against disturbing the tomb, citing the legendary curse of King Tut and other tales of misfortune that have followed the opening of ancient graves. The sarcophagus, with its ominous black exterior, seemed to embody these fears, a vessel of doom waiting to be opened. Despite the chilling warnings, the allure of discovery was too strong to resist. On July 19, 2018, after days of careful preparation, the massive 15-ton lid was slowly lifted. The moment it was pried open, a putrid, unbearable stench filled the air. A smell so foul it sent onlookers reeling. Inside, there were no golden treasures, gruesome than anyone had anticipated. The sarcophagus was filled with a murky reddish-brown liquid, a grim cocktail of sewage and decomposed human remains. Floating in this macabre sludge were the skeletal remains of 3 individuals, 2 men and 1 woman. The initial disappointment quickly gave way to a deeper mystery. Who were these 3 souls, and why were they buried together in such a monumental, unmarked tomb? The complete absence of inscriptions, artifacts, or any of the usual funerary objects was deeply unsettling. Most Egyptian burials, even those of commoners, included items to accompany the dead into the afterlife. This tomb had nothing. The skeletons themselves offered tantalizing clues. One of the male skulls showed signs of trepanation, a form of ancient brain surgery, suggesting he may have been a warrior who survived a brutal head injury. Another skull had a small hole, possibly from an arrow. The woman was believed to be in her early 20s, while the men were in their 30s and 40s. But these small details only deepened the enigma. As news of the discovery spread, so did the bizarre theories. Some people, convinced the reddish liquid held supernatural powers, petitioned to drink it, believing it would grant them mystical abilities. Others speculated that the burial was a form of punishment, a failed mummification ritual, or a hasty interment during a plague or battle. More rational explanations pointed to the possibility that the individuals were high-ranking military officials, their status reflected in the sarcophagus's size, but the lack of inscriptions suggesting a rushed or unconventional burial. Another theory proposed that the sarcophagus had been repurposed, originally intended for a great leader but later used as a communal grave. And what of the artifacts that were later found? While initially reported as empty, it was later revealed that 3 small gold plaques and a small gold-leafed object of uncertain purpose were found within the sludge, adding another layer of complexity to this already baffling discovery. Before the news complex, the Black Sarcophagus of Alexandria, though it did not hold the remains of a king, remains one of the most perplexing archaeological finds of our time. A silent testament to a story that has been lost to the ages. Lost civilization of Doggerland, Europe's Atlantis. Now, the next mystery plunges into the cold, murky waters of the North Sea, where evidence of an even greater loss lies hidden beneath the waves. This is the story of Doggerland, a vast prehistoric landmass that once connected Britain to mainland Europe, a thriving ecosystem teeming with life, home to thousands of Mesolithic hunter-gatherers, until one day it was gone, swallowed by the rising tides and a cataclysmic event that erased it from human memory for millennia. Tens of thousands of years ago, during the last ice age, the world was a vastly different place. Much of Earth's water was locked in colossal ice sheets, causing sea levels to plummet and exposing vast tracts of land now submerged beneath our oceans. Doggerland was one such land, a sprawling, fertile plain of rolling hills, wide rivers and dense forests stretching across what is now the southern North Sea. For thousands of years, it was a vibrant landscape, a crucial migration route for animals, and a rich hunting ground for early humans. Evidence of their presence has been found not in ancient texts, but in the unexpected catches of North Sea fishermen. Tools, bones of extinct megafauna like woolly mammoths and saber-toothed cats, and even human remains, all dredged from the seabed. The first hints of Doggerland's existence emerged from these accidental discoveries, but it wasn't until the 20th century, with advancements in sonar mapping and underwater archaeology, that the true scale of this lost world began to be understood. Researchers began to map out an entire prehistoric landscape beneath the waves, revealing ancient riverbeds, coastlines, and even the faint outlines of what might have been settlements. It became clear that this was no mere land bridge, but a flourishing heartland of Mesolithic Europe. Doggerland's demise was not a sudden event, but a gradual, relentless process. As the Ice Age ended and global temperatures rose, the melting glaciers caused sea levels to steadily climb, slowly encroaching upon the land. Its inhabitants were forced to retreat, generation by generation, to higher ground. But around 8,200 years ago, a catastrophic event sealed Doggerland's fate, the Storegga Slide. Off the coast of Norway, a massive underwater landslide, one of the largest ever recorded, displaced an immense volume of sediment, triggering a mega tsunami. Walls of water, estimated to be over 30 feet high in some areas, crashed into Doggerland's remaining coastlines, inundating low-lying areas, sweeping away villages, and drowning forests. What had been a sprawling landmass was fragmented into islands before finally vanishing beneath the waves, severing the last land connection between Britain and continental Europe. For the people of Doggerland, the Storegga tsunami must have been an apocalyptic event. While some undoubtedly fled to higher ground, many would have been caught in the deluge, their homes and lives erased in a matter of hours. Yet, even today, the North Sea continues to yield tantalizing clues. Despite the challenging conditions, murky waters, and constantly shifting sands, archaeologists continue to find human tools, fragments of wooden structures, and even preserved footprints, offering fleeting glimpses into the lives of Doggerland's inhabitants. Some researchers believe that entire villages, perhaps even burial sites, could still be perfectly preserved beneath layers of sediment, waiting to be discovered. The story of Doggerland is a powerful reminder of the dynamic nature of our planet and the profound impact of climate change on human civilization. It also fuels speculation about ancient myths of sunken lands, suggesting that the legend of Atlantis, or similar tales, might have their roots in the very real and very tragic disappearance of Doggerland. This lost world, once a vibrant centre of human activity, remains largely unexplored, a ghostly landscape beneath the North Sea, holding secrets that continue to challenge our understanding of prehistoric Europe. Seven Pagodas of Mahabalipuram, the sunken temples of India. Now we journey to the southeastern coast of India, to the ancient town of Mahabalipuram, also known as Mahabalipuram. Here, for centuries, a captivating legend has been whispered among fishermen and travellers. The tale of the Seven Pagodas, a grand complex of temples so magnificent that the gods themselves grew jealous and cast them into the ocean. Today, only one, the majestic Shore Temple, stands proudly on the coastline, a solitary sentinel guarding the secrets of its submerged brethren. But was this merely a myth, or a forgotten chapter of history waiting to be rediscovered? Mahabalipuram is renowned for its exquisite rock-cut temples, intricate carvings, and monolithic structures, masterpieces of the Pallava dynasty dating back to the 7th and 8th centuries CE. The Shore Temple itself, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is a structural temple built from granite blocks, dedicated to Shiva and Vishnu, its spires reaching towards the sky, weathered by over a millennium of sea spray and wind. Yet, the legend persisted that 6 more temples, equally grand, lay hidden beneath the waves. For years, historians debated the veracity of this folklore, dismissing it as mere sailors' tales. But in a dramatic turn of events, the devastating Indian Ocean tsunami of December 2004 provided an unexpected answer. As the colossal waves receded from Mahabalipuram's shores, they briefly exposed something astonishing: the clear outlines of submerged structures, carved blocks, and what appeared to be temple foundations. Eyewitnesses reported seeing massive walls and sculptures, their intricate details remarkably preserved, revealed for the first time in centuries. This fleeting glimpse ignited a new wave of archaeological interest. Subsequent underwater explorations by marine archaeologists confirmed the incredible truth. Diving teams discovered multiple submerged structures, some arranged in what seemed to be organized formations, extending several hundred meters offshore. Stone blocks adorned with carvings of lions, elephants, and other mythical creatures, along with evidence of man-made foundations, strongly suggested that a much larger settlement or temple complex once stood here, only to be swallowed by the relentless ocean. These underwater ruins bore striking similarities to the Pallava architecture found on land, reinforcing the belief that they were indeed part of the legendary 7 pagodas. The disappearance of these temples is attributed to a combination of factors. One theory suggests a massive natural disaster, perhaps an ancient tsunami or a series of rising sea levels gradually consumed the coastline. Mahabalipuram's location on the Bay of Bengal makes it particularly vulnerable to such events. It's believed that the temples weren't destroyed in a single cataclysmic event, but rather slowly reclaimed by the sea over centuries, leaving only the shore temple, perhaps on slightly higher ground, as a poignant reminder of what was lost. Another intriguing, albeit speculative, theory connects the lost temples to the mythical continent of Kumari Kandam, a legendary landmass in the Indian Ocean, often compared to Atlantis, said to have been submerged by a great flood. While concrete evidence for Kumari Kandam remains elusive, the persistence of such legends in Tamil culture adds a layer of mystical depth to the Mahabalipuram mystery. Thoughtful. Despite the tantalizing discoveries, much of the submerged city remains hidden beneath shifting sands and the murky depths of the sea. Underwater archaeology is a challenging field, but advancements in sonar mapping and remote-operated vehicles offer hope that one day, the full extent of Mahabalipuram's lost temples will be revealed. For now, the shore temple stands as a powerful testament to a forgotten past, a monument that defied the ocean's wrath, and a symbol of the enduring mysteries that lie beneath the waves, waiting for their stories to be told. The next mystery is more baffling than ever. Devil's Bible, Codex Gigas, a manuscript said to be cursed. A book so immense, so intricate, and so unsettling that for centuries legend claimed it was penned not by human hands, but with the unholy assistance of the devil himself. This is the story of the Codex Gigas, more famously known as the Devil's Bible. A manuscript that defies logic and whispers tales of a pact with infernal forces. Created in the early 13th century, likely within the confines of a Benedictine monastery in what is now the Czech Republic, the Codex Gigas is a marvel of medieval craftsmanship and an enigma of unparalleled proportions. Standing nearly 3 feet tall, weighing a staggering 165 pounds, and requiring over 160 animal skins, primarily calf skin, for its 310 vellum leaves. It is the largest surviving medieval manuscript in the world. But its sheer physical presence is only the beginning of its mysteries. The book contains a complete Latin Vulgate Bible, alongside a bewildering array of other texts, historical chronicles by Cosmas of Prague, medical treatises, ancient spells, and even a calendar with a necrology. All of this is meticulously written in a single, remarkably uniform hand, a consistency that has baffled scholars for centuries. The ink shows no variation, the script no fatigue, leading many to question how one person could have possibly completed such a monumental task. The most captivating and chilling aspect of the Codex Gigas is its infamous full-page illustration of the devil. Positioned near texts on exorcism and demonology, this striking 19-inch-high depiction of Satan is unlike any other medieval artwork. It portrays the devil in a crouched, almost vulnerable position, yet with menacing clawed fingers, an elongated tongue, and glowing red eyes. This image, along with a facing page depicting the kingdom of heaven, has fueled the enduring legend of the book's demonic origins. According to medieval lore, the Codex Gigas was the desperate creation of a monk, sometimes identified as Herman the Recluse, who faced a grim sentence, to be walled up alive for breaking his monastic vows. In a desperate plea for his life, he promised to write the largest book the world had ever seen, one that would contain all human knowledge and complete it in a single night. As the hours dwindled and the impossible task remained unfinished, the monk, facing certain death, turned to the only entity he believed could help him, Satan. He made a pact, offering his soul in exchange for the book's completion before dawn. By morning, the Codex Gigas was miraculously finished, flawless and complete, with the devil's portrait serving as a chilling signature of their unholy agreement. While this dramatic tale is likely a monastic embellishment, the reality of the Codex Gigas is no less astonishing. Modern estimates suggest that even a dedicated scribe working tirelessly would have taken at least 20 to 30 years to complete the manuscript. The unwavering consistency of the handwriting strongly indicates it was the work of a single individual, making the feat almost superhuman. Some theories propose that the monk suffered from hypergraphia, an uncontrollable urge to write, or that he was in a state of extreme religious isolation, dedicating his entire life to this singular endeavor. Yet, the absence of any breaks in style or ink, which would typically occur over decades of work, remains an archaeological puzzle. Beyond its creation, the Codex Gigas has a history steeped in misfortune and survival. It was held in various monasteries before being acquired by Emperor Rudolf II in the late 16th century, becoming part of his famed collection of curiosities. During the 30 Years' War, it was seized by Swedish troops as war booty in 1648 and transported to Stockholm, where it remains today in the National Library of Sweden. Its journey was not without peril. In 1697, a devastating fire broke out in the Royal Library. Legend has it that the Codex Gigas was saved by being thrown from a window, landing safely and largely undamaged, while much of the library burned around it. A testament, some believe, to its cursed yet protected nature. Today, the Devil's Bible continues to draw scholars and curious minds, its pages holding not only ancient texts, but also an enduring mystery. Who was the solitary scribe who poured decades of his life into this monumental work? And what drove him to include such a striking, almost sympathetic, depiction of the devil? The answers remain elusive, locked within the vellum pages of a book that stands as a testament to human ambition, medieval belief, and perhaps a touch of the infernal. Maine penny, the Viking artifact that shouldn't exist. Now we focus to a small, unassuming artifact found far from its origins, an object that, if its implications are fully accepted, could rewrite the very history of North American discovery. This is the story of the Maine penny, a tiny coin that has sparked immense debate and continues to challenge everything we thought we knew about pre-Columbian contact with the Americas. In 1957, an amateur archaeologist named Guy Melgren made a remarkable discovery at the Goddard site, an ancient Native American settlement in Brooklyn, Maine. Among the typical finds of stone tools, arrowheads, and pottery fragments, he unearthed a small, worn, silver coin. At first glance, it seemed unremarkable, perhaps a colonial-era trinket. But when experts examined it closely, their astonishment was palpable. The coin was identified as a Norse penny, specifically a silver coin minted during the reign of King Olaf Kyrre of Norway, who ruled from 1067 to 1093 AD. A Viking artifact found deep in what is now the United States, centuries before Christopher Columbus's arrival. The implications were staggering. Official historical accounts acknowledge that Norse explorers, most notably Leif Erikson, briefly visited parts of North America around 1000 AD, establishing a short-lived settlement at L'Anse aux Meadows in Newfoundland, Canada. However, there is no widely accepted historical record or archaeological evidence of Vikings venturing as far south as Maine, let alone engaging in trade or leaving behind currency. So, how did an 11th century Norse coin end up buried in a Native American archaeological site in New England. One theory suggests that the Vikings traveled much further down the North American coast than previously believed, possibly establishing temporary trading posts or exploring the rich fishing grounds. If true, this would significantly expand the known scope of Viking exploration and interaction with indigenous peoples. Did Norse traders venture south, exchanging goods with the Penobscot people, who were known for their extensive trade networks? The Goddard site itself was a significant trading hub, and the coin could have been acquired through a series of intertribal exchanges, making its way down from more northerly Viking contact points in Canada. However, the Maine penny has not been without its skeptics. Some initially questioned its authenticity, suggesting it might be a hoax or an accidental modern deposit. Yet, rigorous metallurgical and numismatic analyses have confirmed that the coin is indeed a genuine 11th century Norse artifact. The debate then shifted from its authenticity to its provenance. How did it arrive at the Goddard site? The lack of other definitive Norse artifacts at the site, no weapons, tools, or permanent structures, has led some to argue against direct Viking settlement in Maine. Instead, the trade network theory gains traction, where the coin could have been a rare and valuable item passed along from tribe to tribe, a curiosity rather than a direct indicator of Norse presence. Adding to the intrigue are other anomalous finds across the Americas that hint at pre-Columbian transoceanic contact. Roman coins have reportedly been found in Texas and Venezuela, and ancient Japanese coins in African settlements, suggesting that global trade and exploration might have been far more extensive and interconnected than conventional history dictates. While these discoveries are often met with skepticism and require further verification, they collectively paint a picture of a past that is far more complex and interconnected than previously imagined. The Maine penny remains a tantalizing piece of this historical puzzle. It might not definitively prove Viking colonization of Maine, but it undeniably forces us to reconsider the accepted narratives of discovery and interaction. It stands as a testament to the possibility that history is not a static record, but a dynamic narrative, constantly being reshaped by new discoveries, and reminding us that the past still holds countless secrets waiting for a single small artifact to unlock them. Stone spheres of Costa Rica, mysterious megalithic orbs. Here we journey south to the lush tropical rainforests of Costa Rica, where a mystery of a different kind lies half buried in the earth. Scattered across the Gigas Delta and on the Isla del Caño, hundreds of massive, near-perfect stone spheres stand as silent sentinels to a lost civilization. These are not the random, weathered boulders of nature, but meticulously crafted, impossibly symmetrical orbs, some weighing over 15 tons, that have baffled archaeologists and ignited the imagination of explorers for nearly a century. Thoughtful. Who made these enigmatic spheres, and for what purpose? The story of their discovery begins in the 1930s, when the United Fruit Company, clearing vast tracts of jungle for banana plantations, began to unearth these colossal stone balls. Ranging in size from a few inches to over 8 feet in diameter, the spheres were a source of immediate fascination and speculation. Some workers, believing they contained hidden gold, tragically blew them apart with dynamite, only to find solid rock. As word of the discovery spread, archaeologists descended upon the region, recognizing the spheres as a unique and unprecedented archaeological find. Crafted primarily from granadierite, a hard igneous rock, the spheres are a testament to the remarkable skill of their creators. The precision of their spherical shape is so great that it seems almost impossible to have been achieved with the primitive tools available at the time. What's more, the granadierite is not native to the areas where the spheres were found, meaning they had to be quarried, shaped, and then transported over long distances, a feat of engineering that would have required a sophisticated understanding of mechanics and a highly organized workforce. The prevailing theory attributes the creation of the spheres to the Gigas culture, an indigenous civilization that flourished in Costa Rica between 700 and 1530 AD. The Gigas people were known for their intricate goldwork and pottery, but nothing else in their archaeological record hints at the ability to create such monumental stoneworks. With no written records left behind, the true purpose of the spheres remains a subject of intense debate. Were they status symbols placed at the entrances of the homes of chiefs and other high-ranking individuals, or were they astronomical markers aligned with the movements of the sun, moon, and stars? A celestial calendar carved in stone. Some spheres have been found in linear arrangements, hinting at a possible astronomical or ceremonial purpose. But the displacement of many of the spheres over the years has made it difficult to reconstruct their original layouts. Indigenous legends offer their own explanations, with some tales describing the spheres as Tara's cannonballs, hurled by the god of thunder to ward off evil spirits. Other, more fringe theories propose that the spheres are relics of a lost civilization like Atlantis, or even the handiwork of extraterrestrial visitors. The mystery of their creation is just as perplexing as their purpose. How did the Gigas people, with no evidence of advanced tools, manage to carve these massive blocks of hard rock into near-perfect spheres? Some researchers believe they may have used a combination of controlled fracturing, pecking, and grinding, a painstaking process that would have taken years to complete. The transportation of these multi-ton orbs from their quarries to their final resting places is another enigma, likely involving a combination of human power, log rollers, and rafts. Today, the stone spheres of Costa Rica are a protected UNESCO World Heritage Site, a tribute to the ingenuity and artistry of a lost civilization. Yet, they remain an unsolved puzzle, a collection of silent, enigmatic orbs that challenge our understanding of the ancient world and remind us that some mysteries are so profound they may never be fully explained. The Vanishing of the Clovis People, a lost American civilization. Our next mystery takes us back in time, to the end of the last Ice Age, to a chapter in North American prehistory that is as enigmatic as it is foundational. It's a story not of a single artifact or a cryptic book, but of an entire civilization that seemingly vanished from the face of the earth, leaving behind a trail of tantalizing clues and a question that has haunted archaeologists for decades. What happened to the Clovis people? For much of the 20th century, the Clovis culture was considered the first human society in the Americas. Dating back approximately 13,000 years, these skilled hunters were known for their distinctive and beautifully crafted spear points, known as Clovis points. These fluted, leaf-shaped projectiles, made from flint, chert, and obsidian, were so advanced and widespread that they became the hallmark of a sophisticated and mobile society. Found from Canada to Mexico, alongside the remains of Ice Age megafauna like mammoths, mastodons, and giant bison, these tools painted a picture of a thriving culture that had mastered the art of survival in a harsh and unforgiving world. The prevailing theory was that the Clovis people were the descendants of the first humans to cross the Bering Land Bridge from Siberia, a hardy group of pioneers who spread rapidly across the continent. For centuries, they flourished, their population growing, their hunting techniques perfected. And then, just as suddenly as they appeared, they vanished, Around 12,800 years ago, the archaeological record of the Clovis people comes to an abrupt end. Their distinctive tools disappear, their campsites fall silent, and a vibrant culture seems to evaporate into thin air, leaving behind a void that has been filled with a host of competing theories. One of the most dramatic and controversial of these theories is the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis. This theory posits that a comet or asteroid exploded over North America, triggering a cataclysmic chain of events. The impact would have set off continent-spanning wildfires, plunged the world into a mini ice age known as the Younger Dryas, and led to the extinction of the very megafauna the Clovis people depended on. Proponents of this theory point to a black mat layer found at many Clovis sites, a thin carbon-rich layer of sediment containing nanodiamonds, microscopic metallic spherules, and other materials that are indicative of an extraterrestrial impact. If this theory is correct, the Clovis people were not just a lost civilization, but the victims of a cosmic catastrophe, one of the first human societies to be wiped out by a global disaster. However, not all scientists are convinced. Another less dramatic theory suggests that the Clovis people didn't disappear at all, but rather adapted and evolved. As the Ice Age megafauna died out, either due to overhunting or climate change, the Clovis people were forced to change their way of life. They may have shifted their focus to smaller game, developed new hunting techniques, and diversified their diet. This cultural adaptation could have led to the emergence of new, more regionalized cultures, such as the Folsom people, whose smaller, more refined spear points appear in the archaeological record shortly after the Clovis disappear. In this scenario, the Clovis people didn't vanish, they simply transformed, their cultural DNA carried forward in the diverse tapestry of Native American societies that followed. Adding another layer of complexity to this puzzle is the growing body of evidence that the Clovis people were not the first Americans after all. Archaeological sites like Monteverde in Chile, the Galt site in Texas, and the Buttermilk Creek complex, also in Texas, have yielded artifacts that predate the Clovis culture by thousands of years. These discoveries have shattered the long-held Clovis first model and opened up a whole new set of questions. Who were these pre-Clovis people, and what was their relationship to the Clovis culture? Were the Clovis a distinct, later migration, or did they emerge from these earlier, less-known populations? The mystery of the Clovis people is a stark reminder of how much we still don't know about our own past. Were they the victims of a cosmic catastrophe, a culture that adapted and evolved, or something else entirely? The truth remains buried, locked in the soil of ancient America, a silent testament to a civilization that rose, flourished, and vanished, leaving behind a legacy of beautiful tools and an enduring enigma. And so, our journey through the untold ancient mysteries of the world comes to a close. For now. From the chilling contents of the Black Sarcophagus of Alexandria to the demonic legends of the Codex Gigas, the vanished civilization of the Clovis people, the inexplicable precision of Costa Rica's stone spheres, the submerged wonders of Mahabalipuram, the lost world of Doggerland, and the perplexing presence of the Maine penny, we've seen how history is not a fixed narrative, but a living, breathing enigma. Each artifact, each site, each whispered legend serves as a powerful reminder that our understanding of the past is constantly evolving, challenged by new discoveries that force us to question, to reevaluate, and to imagine. These mysteries, far from being mere curiosities, highlight the incredible ingenuity, resilience, and sometimes the sheer vulnerability of ancient civilizations. They remind us that the human story is far richer, more complex, and infinitely more mysterious than we often give it credit for. The past is not just a collection of dates and names. It's a vast, unexplored landscape, filled with secrets waiting to be unearthed, stories waiting to be told, and questions that continue to echo through the corridors of time. What other secrets lie buried beneath our feet, hidden beneath the waves, or locked away in forgotten texts? The quest for knowledge is an endless one, and as long as there are mysteries to unravel, humanity will continue to seek answers, pushing the boundaries of our understanding and forever expanding the tapestry of our shared history. Join us next time as we continue to explore the untold ancient mysteries of the world. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep believing in the extraordinary.